For years, fans of Fire Emblem have decided that the regular games aren't hard enough and have come up with their own unique challenge, the Ironman, where if a unit dies, we just keep going, don't ask, that unit is dead, we move on. So I have decided, how do I do this idea, but more stupid? And such, I have come up with a reverse Ironman. Rather than keeping on going on after a unit dies, we just reset the entire run if a unit dies, and leave no man left behind. Rather than going on with the run and seeing how well we can do if RNG dicks us over, instead, we keep going so that RNG never dicks us over, and see how many times it takes to get through an entire Fire Emblem game without losing a single unit ever. So, by that intro, you're probably thinking to yourself, wow, why? Why? I thought you couldn't get any dumber after infantry-only Fire Emblem 4. But oh, I assure you, it can get dumber, and it will get dumber. So, the idea here is exactly what I said. If anyone, at any point, dies, this entire run is forfeit. All of it. I have to restart from the very beginning. No, I do not need to use tutorials. I'm a big boy. So before we do anything, we need to remember that Fire Emblem Path of Radiance is the slowest goddamn game in the series. So, I'm doing this run to have fun, quote-unquote, as I call it, and continue my trend of doing really silly playthroughs. Now, something fun about this tutorial I want to show off is there's actually extra dialogue if you just never attack Boyd. See, this time he tells you to hurry up. He's like, oh, are you afraid of me? And so if we ignore him again, the enemy phase is going to happen. Like, come on, what are you doing? Are you sure you really want to learn how to fight? And then we just ignore him again, and he starts to fall asleep. There's another bit of dialogue if we move away from Boyd. I think. At least I thought there was. Oh well, okay. We've wasted 6 turns. LTCers are quaking in their boots. It's time to actually attack Boyd. The thing with Path of Radiance is it's one of my favorites. It's kind of become a cult classic, as upon release, Path of Radiance and Radiant Dawn were both received and sold poorly. Actually, I think Path of Radiance was well received. I think Radiant Dawn was, like, not a critical or commercial success. But since then, it's found its place in the fandom, and Tellius has a very strong following. I like Path of Radiance. I think it's a good time. So I'm going to be looking forward to playing through this again, because my original copy of this game is, lost. I lent it to my dear friend Josh about 4 years ago, and tragic as it is, Josh's mother misplaced the game, because Josh got cancer. Bone cancer, specifically, leukemia. And when his mother was rearranging his things when he was in the hospital, she misplaced it. And now it's been the running joke between us for 4 years that he lost my $300 game. It's not actually that big a deal. I mean, obviously I'm sad about it, but what the hell am I going to do about it? It's lost, so here I am, resorting to piracy. But, don't tell the big Nintendo. I don't think they're very cool with that. So, here we go. One of the things about Path of Radiance, though, is as fun and great as I think it is, it has one problem. Path of Radiance is, bar none, the slowest Fire Emblem game in existence. Because you gotta look, you have to fade to black before every fight, go through far slower animations than the Game Boy Advance games, and then these really slow death animations for bosses, and just in general, they pile up. They don't seem like much in this tutorial fight, where, first level up, can you give me more than just HP? Good. Good. Good first level up for Ike. Now, but they add up. Like, all the constant slow fade-ins, the slow animations, it doesn't seem like much at first. At first, it seems like you're doing fine. But over time, they build up, and they build up, and they build up. So, by the end of it, you're going to be praying that, this game was just faster. That is, in my opinion, the one thing Path of Radiance does significantly worse than its, Game Boy Advance brethren. Now, you might notice, for those of you who are well-versed in Tellius, Ike only has one sword, which is what he's supposed to have. In the American version, if you skip the tutorial for how to walk into houses, Ike magically acquires 3 more swords. I don't know why this happens. I don't think it happens in Japanese, but I'm not using an English ROM. I'm using a European ROM, where this glitch was fixed. Now, why am I using a European ROM? Is there some special meme for it? I wasn't paying attention when I downloaded the ROM, and it was European instead of American. That's it. That's the reason. I just wasn't paying attention. Now, this old man is giving me a steel sword? Yeah, okay. Titania can't use it. Now, these 4 are the main hub of Grail Mercenaries. There are others. We'll get Gatry, Shannon Sword, and all that. These 4, right here, are like your combat units for a while. Oscar, Boyd, and Titania are all 3 of the best units in the game. They are all... Holy shit! If there's one thing this game does keep from its Game Boy Advance brethren, it's cool crits. Which upsets me that crits in modern Fire Emblem, like Awakening, Fates, and 3 Houses, just really aren't the same. Like, and it's not even a thing about the using 3D models instead of 2D sprites. Like, sure, the crits and animations in the Tellius games are not as cool as they are in the Game Boy Advance games, but they're still cool. Like, you saw Oscar twirl that lance around like a goddamn champion. They're just not like that, in more modern titles, and it's just really sad to me. I miss those really cool crit animations. I hope they come back someday. Oh, right! The other thing about Path of Radiance that's different is it splits your items and weapons into 2 different inventory slots. You don't just have 8 inventory slots to fill with whatever. You have 4 slots for weapons, 4 slots for items. That's it. Now, this, I don't think this is ever done again. Oh no, 3 Houses does it. Jesus Christ, Oscar! Alright, Oscar really does not like anyone. He is not a fan of how the world is going on right now. Granted, I don't know many who are. So, now what we need to do is, get Ike up there and have Titania on standby. So, I'm trying to think, is there anything else I need to say about Path of Radiance right now? Oh, come on, I haven't even been like halfway into this well, I think I am a little halfway into this episode, and I can't be running out of things to say now. Come on. Right. I am really good at this whole video game commentary thing. Like, wow. Why am I blanking on what I wanted to talk about? There was something else. Oh, right, other gameplay mechanics. You might notice that Oscar and Titania in this game have the Fire Emblem 4 Canto. For those of you who didn't know, Canto is what it's called when the unit gets to move again after moving once. This version of Canto means that Oscar, after attacking, or Titania, can do whatever the fuck they want. They can just move out completely and be A-okay. This is a buff because the GBA games nerfed Kanto into something a bit less, no, what's the word I'm looking for? Completely fucking busted. Because in the Game Boy Advance games, your mounted units could only move again after performing a non-combat action, like trading items, getting something from the supply, visiting a village, etc. Here, we are back to the super strong Genealogy of the Holy War canto, which is you get to move again after everything, which is part of why Fire Emblem, excuse me, Fire Emblem Path of Radiance is, next to Genealogy, in my opinion, the worst game for mount dominance. Path of Radiance has a big disparity between, like, how good mounted units are and how good non-mounted units are. In terms of non-mounted units who are really good, off the top of my head, it's Boyd, Reese, and mages. The one thing this game does have is that there are no mounted mages in this game. I did not realize Titania would kill that boss. I don't think I actually wanted that to happen, but okay. It happened. I gotta deal with it. Yeah. They're actually, yeah, the Mage Knight class does not exist in this game. How well can Oscar soften this boy up? Oh, we can just kill him. I will give the kill to Oscar. So, mages, Boyd. Off the top of my head, that's it for good non-mounted units in this game. Stefan is okay, but we'll discuss the problems with the entire Swordsmaster class in this game when they come up. So, oh right, the Lagu. Can't remember. If I remember correctly, Lagu are really good in Radiant Dawn and suck ass in Path of Radiance, or like the other way around. I'm pretty sure Lagu. I am talking about things that will not come into play for many, many chapters. So yeah, that was the first chapter. How long has this been going on for? Let's just save just in case of something goes wrong with the footage. 11 minutes. I'm gonna spoil you guys. Let's do the first 3 chapters. Prologue and chapter 1 did not take that long. So, yeah, the other thing in this game that isn't prevalent right now in the early game, oddly enough, but is a problem that goes on throughout the entire game. Fire Emblem Path of Radiance has a really, really, really bad problem with its with lance enemies. And by that, I mean lance enemies are everywhere in the late game. So naturally, that means any enemy that can use an axe is really good in Path of Radiance, and that's part of why Boyd is probably the best fighter in the series outside of, Good. Thanks, Oscar. Probably the best fighter in the series outside of, Barst. And maybe, is Osian? Orson Osian, what the fuck his name is. Is he better than Barst? I don't know. Let me just make sure right quick. Can you reach... Okay, yeah. Boyd's down here. Yeah, you can't reach him. So, that's part of why Boyd is so good. It also is that axe users just aren't common in this game. Like, there's Boyd and Titania, and then promoted Jill. Any of the Cavaliers, if you give them axes on promotion, Har, and Largo. Like, axes are both a good weapon type and a bizarrely uncommon one. So, just a lot of weird things in this game about its unit balance that it becomes more and more apparently whack as the game goes on. but I still like Path of Radiance in spite of that. It definitely has some unit balance problems, but I certainly enjoy it. Anyways, let's see how much I enjoy this game when a single stroke of bad RNG has completely ruined an entire playthrough. Yeah. Ooh. Good job, Ike. Ike, as a lord in this game, as a character, he's one of my favorites. As a unit, I still know. Am I doing the unit review corner at the end of this? I think I'll just talk about the units as they show up in a more non-formal thing. Because Path of Radiance is slow enough, I don't need to shove on minutes of footage about words, Steven, use them. About unit quality when I can just talk about them. So I'll start with Ike. In terms of character, Ike in Path of Radiance is one of my favorite lords in the series. In terms of unit, this might be controversial. I think Ike is a contender for worst lord in the franchise unit-wise, only barely being better than Roy. Because he has every single same problem as Roy, except only a little less worse. He's sword-locked, which was one of Rory's big problems. Ooh, oh, resistance! Ike is sword-locked, which is, as I've said before, the worst weapon type to be locked to in the series, bar none. He is in an incredibly mount-dominant game, just like Roy, and does not get a mount on promotion. He's also, and this is something that kind of applies to Roy, but more so here, he is in a very lance-dominant game. Swords are probably at their worst in Path of Radiance. Swords are not a very good weapon to have. Like, you're gonna want people that can use swords, but not as their primary weapon. So that's a problem. The only thing Ike has over Roy is two things. Just two things. One, his promotion comes at a much better time. I think Ike's promotion is honestly the best timed in the series for main lords. Like, it comes in the earliest of those lords that have forced promotions. I believe they started to do away with forced promotions at Awakening. I believe Crom, Lucina, Corin, and all them can promote whenever the hell they feel like it. Let's move Ike up. Yeah. But in this game, Ike's promotion is very good. It comes in at a very good time. And that's really his main advantage. The Ragnall is also infinite uses, but just like Roy's Binding Blade, it doesn't show up until there are like 2 chapters left. So that's not really even a positive. In Radiant Dawn, Ike is a much better unit and very good. In Path of Radiance, personally, I think he's fucking garbage. I think Lynn's better than him, but only because you can bench Lynn. Which, does that really mean Lynn's better than him if her saving grace is that you don't have to use her? Other than that, Boyd I went over a bit. His, the fact that he's an axe user is very good for him. His very good availability also greatly helps his ability to contribute. Yeah, he's just good. I definitely personally believe that Boyd is the best fighter in the entire franchise, except maybe, and I mean maybe, Orson or Osian from Thracia. Like, Boyd is very good. Good stats, good bases, availability. He has everything. Oscar, similarly, is very, very good. Good availability, bases, and growths. Lances are a good weapon type. He can get axes on promotion. The game wants you to give him bows for the triangle attack. Spoiler alert, that's not worth it. He's a mount. His one problem is he can be a little susceptible to strength screwage. Like, you might get an Oscar every now and again with bad strength. It's not terribly common, but it's happened enough for me, at least, that I have noticed sometimes Oscar just doesn't do enough damage until you get the stronger, weapon type of the... What words? I can use them. Let's just give Reese... We don't have a convoy yet, so any, items that overflow have to get discarded. Anyways, so Oscar does get helped in that when you can equip him with the much faster, stronger, rather, axes, but that's not a guarantee, unfortunately. So, with that being said, Titania, a very solid pre-promoted paladin. Axes are, as I said before, great weapon type, best in this game. Her class, she's a mount, has busted Canto. I've established why that's fucking great. Titania's only flaw is actually the same as Oscar's. Her strength can be a little low. Can be. Her growths in general are pretty good, so Titania should be fine in the long run. She's not quite as good as Seth from the last game, or Marcus, but she's definitely up there. Like, she is a very good unit. And then finally, we have Reese right here. He's your only healer for pretty much the entire game, because Mist isn't real. So, on utility alone, he's one of the best units in the game. Everyone uses Reese. Not necessarily because he's necessarily that good, you just don't have any choice. If you want to heal your units, you have to use Reese. Well fought, Boyd. It was a battle of oddly evasive fighters, but we made it. You might be thinking to yourself, Boyd has that Seraph robe. Why haven't you used it yet? I forgot. Ooh, Boyd is looking even better than normal. 2 speed level ups. That's really good for Boyd. He isn't actually as slow as most of his class tends to be. Boyd's speed is actually pretty decent. But even still, you love to see it. Yeah. So, Reese is also your only unit in the game that can use light magic. That isn't that necessary. But, like, I mean, it's something. If you're a sucker that likes to use unique shit just because it's unique, like I am, you can find some good with Reese. Now, beyond that, don't you drop a speed wing? Yeah. Who could use HP? Ike probably could. I think I get access to the preparations menu. Ooh, Ike can get that kill. I don't think I want Ike to get that kill. I kind of want to give it to Oscar. So, Boyd, let him have it. And... oh, well. Okay, Boyd, I guess I was singing your praises too much. We gotta curb back the enthusiasm. Reese! Grant him the heals that he desires. And then... I guess I can just have Oscar stab him for some experience. Yeah, sure. Get the 10 XP for attacking a boss, Oscar, my boy, me Bob. Good job. A little XP. That's a treat. And then Ike. Finish him off. Say something about how dare you kidnap the 2 most useless units in the game. Bam. Alright. And that's gonna do it for episode 1. Hopefully I'll never have to play this part of the game again. Oh, that is just a tease. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Hopefully this run goes good. I can't wait to make it to, like, chapter 22. Lose a unit after a perfect set of runs. Or a perfect run. And then suddenly I'm not able to get past chapter 10 without bullshit happening. It's gonna happen. And you guys are gonna be there for it the whole way. See you then.